Hello everyone, welcome to Yoga with Brenda. My name is Brenda and today we're going to do a short session of yoga for runners. So when you're ready, just join me on the mat. So today we're going to start on a seated position. We're going to bring your right knee on top of your left one. Trying to bring the heels towards your hips and root the tops of your feet towards the ground. Trying to keep knee on top of knee. If you feel you're struggling keeping your hips on the floor, you can sit down on a block. So elevating your hips will help you balance your hips. Keep the navel slightly tucked in to support your low back and just lengthen through the spine, keeping your shoulders down, your hands on the ground. And we're going to go for a side stretch. So your right hand is going to stay down on the floor, and with the next inhale, lift the left arm up to the ceiling. And with the exhale, slightly bend your right arm and bring your left one towards the right side of the mat. Trying to keep your chest open so it's not facing down to the ground, open, and rooting your hip bones down to the floor. On the next inhale, lift the arms up to the ceiling. And with the exhale, we're going to walk forward and bring your belly towards your legs. So you should be feeling a nice stretch on the outer hip on your right side. And slowly lifting the chest up. So we're going to go towards the other leg. So bring your right foot towards the outer left hip and your left foot towards your right hip. Again, balance your hips and try to keep knee on top of knee. You should already be feeling your outer hips there stretching. Root your feet down, lengthen through the spine. Your back is straight. Left hand stays down. On the next inhale, right arm goes up to the ceiling. With the exhale, slightly bending your left arm and bring your right arm towards the left side. Look up. And just feel a nice stretch from your right hip bone extending through the right side of the body towards your fingertips. On the next inhale, lift the chest up, and with the exhale, hands down to the ground. Let's just gonna walk forward with our hands. With the next exhalation, bring your belly as close to your legs as you can. And slowly lifting up. And now from here, we're just going to go into our table pose. So on your fours. So keep your wrist under the shoulders and your knees under the hips, the crease of the elbows towards each other. Gripping the mat with your fingertips and press the base of the knuckles down to the ground. So we're going to go for knee rotations here. We're going to extend your right leg backwards and bend your right leg. On the next inhale, open your right hip. And with the exhale, bringing your right knee towards the armpit and hover over the floor. Inhale, open. And exhale, forward and down. Last one, open. Exhale, forward and down. Let's gonna change directions. Inhale to the armpit, open backwards, and exhale, close the hip and knee over the floor. And again, open, exhale, close. One last time, open, and exhale, close. From here, we're gonna bring your right foot, extending your right leg, bring your right toes down to the ground. On the next inhale, look forward. With the exhale, push through your hands and slide your torso backwards, like trying to bring your heel towards the floor. But control your right hip is not opening up to the side. Keep the navel tucked in. And just feel your calf muscles there. Stretching. Work on the flexibility on your ankles as well. And now from here, we're going to bring your right foot outside your right hand. And maybe a little bit further towards the front of the mat. Bring both hands towards your front knee and lift the chest up. So you can keep the top of your foot down on the ground or tuck the toes in if it helps on your back knee, on your left knee. Think about bringing one leg energetically towards each other, so this will activate your inner thighs and your outer glutes to help you square your hips forward. Keep the navel tucked in, supporting, activating the core, protecting your low back. And keep working with your breath. From here, bringing your hands down to the ground, your right hand inside your right foot for our lizard pose. So your right knee is squeezing against the right arm and the arm against the knee. So your leg is active but is staying in a neutral position, pointing forward. You can stay with your arms straight, or you can bring your forearms to the block or to the ground. But control that your left hip is not falling down towards the floor. Keep activating your inner thighs. And keep your right leg active. And slowly, we're gonna lift the chest up. Bend your left leg, so bring your left foot up to the ceiling. If that is enough for you, stay there. We're gonna stretch your quads on your left leg, so the front of your left thigh, and your hip flexors, the little muscles in front of your left hip. If you want to go deeper, reach with your right hand towards your back foot and bring your foot towards the bum. Keep your chest facing forward so we're not twisting. There are a few variations for this one. We're not going to twist, just look forward. Just a few more breaths here. Try to avoid the frustration. Don't fight the pose. Just use your breath to go with it and to ease the tension. Slowly, we're going to release your left foot and bring your right hand forward inside your right hand, your right foot. Now bring your right hand outside your right foot, and on the next inhale, lengthen the spine. With the exhale, slide backwards for a half split pose. So your hips are on top of your left knee. Your feet are hip width apart, and your hands darkly under the shoulders with the crease of the elbows towards each other. If your hands are not touching the ground, you can stay on your shin, on your hips, or use a block under your hands. With the next inhalation, gaze forward, lengthen your spine, and with the exhale, bend the elbows towards the back of the mat and fold from the pelvis, bringing your belly towards your right leg. With the next inhale, lift the chest up, and with the exhale, slide forward, bending your front leg. Push through your hands and step backwards with your right foot. We go back again into our table pose. So we're going to go towards the other side. So adjust your hands if you need to, your wrist under the shoulders, extending your left leg backwards. Bending your leg, and we're going to go into your hip rotations. You can keep your foot flexed or pointed, doesn't matter as long as your leg is active. On the next inhale, open your left hip, bringing your knee towards your armpit, and with the exhale, down, hovering over the floor. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Change directions. Inhale, open, back. Exhale, close. Inhale, open and back. Exhale, close. Last one, open. And close. Extending your left leg backwards, toes down to the ground. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, slide backwards, heel towards the ground. So again, your calf muscle there, stretching. Control your left hip, it's not opening up. Keep the navel slightly tucked in. And let's gonna slide the torso forward, and we're gonna step with your left foot outside your left hand, walking forward with your hands, and bring your hands towards your front knee. Lift the chest up. Again, bringing one leg towards the other, so we're activating your inner thighs, these muscles here, your outer hips, hip flexors, your little muscles here. Everything is active, so it's not a passive stretch where you just dump the weight down there to the ground. We stretch, but actively protecting our body. Bring your hands down to the ground, left hand inside your left foot for our lizard pose. So again, you can stay with your arms straight or bring your forearms down. Sorry. But your left knee pressing against your left shoulder, so your left knee is pointing forward and your right hip is not sinking down to the ground, but in line with your left one. Both hands down to the ground, lift the chest up. The same as before, your right foot up to the ceiling. You can stay there. Or your left hand is gonna reach backwards, hold your foot and bring your right foot towards the bum. Keeping your chest facing forward, we're not twisting. And keep loosening up your muscles, releasing the tension through your exhalations. Just deep breath. Slowly release. Bringing your left hand forward and down inside your left foot. Now bring your left hand outside your left foot. Your feet are hip width apart. Look forward, and with the next exhalation, slide backwards for half split pose. So again, your hip directly on top of your right knee, hands under the shoulder. Your left leg is active, spreading your toes. Inhale there, and with the exhale, if it's accessible to you, bend the elbows towards the back of the mat and bring your belly down. On the next inhale, lifting the chest halfway up. And from here, we're just going to step forward with your right foot to the front of the mat. So we're going into a yogi squat, and for this position, your feet are following the direction of your knees. Trying to keep your bum down, your chest open. Bring your hands together to the chest. And use the elbows to keep your knees open. And slowly, let's just gonna sit down. We're gonna go for our double pigeon pose or fire log pose. So for this position, we're gonna bring your right foot on top of your left knee. So your heel is directly on top of your left knee, and your right knee on top of your left heel. So basically, it's shin on top of shin with your toes pointing forward. If this is too much for you and you find yourself struggling too much, or your knee is floating like that, you can support it on a block. Or bring your right foot outside your left thigh down to the ground, and with your right hand, push the knee down. So choose your variation. Rooting your knees down, keep the navel tucked in so you're not going into a back bend. You should be feeling there, the hip flexor there, the little muscles on the front of your right hip. Maybe struggling a bit. And now from here, let's just gonna walk forward with our hands and bring your forearms down or as deep as you can. If you find yourself rounding the back, it's better to go a little bit higher but keep the back straight. And slowly lift the chest up. And now from here, what we're going to do is to bring your right foot outside your left thigh and your left foot outside your right hip. So your right knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. If you find it's too hard to keep your hips on the floor, you can always extend your left leg forward, keeping your kneecap and your toes pointing up to the ceiling. From here, let's just gonna go for a twist, hugging your right leg with your left arm. On the next inhale, right arm goes up to the ceiling. With the exhale, reach backwards and bring your right hand down to the ground behind your back. So we're just doing a nice little twist to release the tension from the middle and low back, and to reset a bit your hip bones. And look forward, and we're gonna go towards the other side. So your right shin stays down and your left one goes on top. So left heel on top of your right knee, left knee on top of your right heel. toes pointing forward. So toes forward is important because these will create enough activation to protect your knees. But if this is too much, as before, adjust it with a block under your left knee or your left foot outside your right thigh, and just simply guide your left knee lower. Again, keeping the navel tucked in to support. And just notice if is there any difference between your left side and your right one. It's not really to make any judgments, but it's for you to take notice of what is your body telling you, what is going on in your body. Now from here, let's just gonna walk forward with our hands, and the same as before, with your back straight, fold the best you can. And slowly lift yourself up. Bring your left foot outside your right thigh and your right foot towards your left hip bone. Your left knee pointing up to the ceiling, and the same as before, if you're struggling balancing your hips, extend your right leg forward. And now from here, prepare for the twist. So hug your left leg with your right arm. On the next inhale, left arm goes up to the ceiling. With the exhale, twist from the navel and bring your left hand behind your back down to the ground. Look backwards. On the next inhale, look forward, and with the exhale, release the legs extended in front of you. Shake them a little bit. Maybe wiggle a little bit side to side. And now from here, just hug your knees, round your back, and with control, bring your back down to the ground. Just gently rocking your knees side to side. And we're gonna go for a short relaxation or shavasana, just bringing your legs down to the floor. Allow your feet to fall towards the sides. Relax your body on the mat. Keep your arms away from the body, palm facing up, and just close your eyes. And just for a few minutes, stay focused on your breath, in and out. Or just stay here in your shavasana for as long as you need to. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.